I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a brief moment of silence. The committee recently learned of the passing of Sue Levine, a very dedicated educator to the Attleboro Public Schools for over 25 years, that was truly dedicated to student success across the Commonwealth. Thank you. Welcome to the Attleboro School Committee meeting of Monday, June 2nd. This is your notice that this meeting is being electronically recorded. The first item on the agenda tonight is the spotlight presentation related to the much-awaited 2030 strategic plan, and for that, I will turn it over to Assistant Superintendent Lori Regan.
Thank you, Chairman Geddes. And so it has been long awaited. We've been planning this for about 9 months and are thrilled to share this presentation with you this evening, as well as a mock-up of the actual plan itself for the next 5 years. And with a title that I think is actually fitting to all of the contents inside: Pathways to 2030, Nurturing Our Potential and Cultivating Connections. So first, I'd like to especially thank the members of the committee that attended all of the meetings, from the focus sessions all the way to the actual planning and revision and feedback sessions. There were many, and there were many times where we sent things back to the workshop, and so you had an opportunity to really help us strengthen the language that was included in this document, and I really do hope that it's something that you are proud of, because I know that I am. I'd also like to thank all of the other members of the committee that participated as well. We have members from the community, as well as the educators some of the educators that participated. So thank you so much. Okay, so how did we get to actual, having a document that we can look at and touch and feel? We started with 2 phases. The first phase was included focus groups, where we were able to provide 5 different sessions and actually talk about the direction that we were going and some of the areas that we wanted to focus on. From there, we took all of that feedback from those focus group sessions and then put it into actual writing, where we had the ability to give folks an opportunity to give direct feedback and constructive feedback that we took and were able to actually include into the document itself. So it did take that long because we wanted to make sure that everyone had an opportunity to participate and partner with us in this new plan. So what sets this plan apart from our previous plans? And I believe that it is the theory of action. It is the spine of this plan, and it actually connects our mission, which is to engage, challenge, and inspire all students to maximize their unique potential and improve our world, and the vision, which is for us to be the center of the community, united around education, where all stakeholders value and participate in our collective success. And so, knowing that our mission and vision are directly connected to these 3 actions that we want to provide all of our students, which is to provide them with high-quality instruction that's student-centered and directly connected to their unique needs, empower them to engage in personalized learning that directly connects to their educational goals, and as well as to strengthen our partnership with our families and the community. And we feel that if we engage in those 3 actions, that our students will be able to maximize our students' learning, and so that they can be successful in our dynamic world. This is a new piece that we've added this year. As you've heard us talk about many times before, this work was, threaded and built as part of our Portrait of a Graduate. And the goal for our Portrait of a Graduate is for students to attain and use durable skills that will be with them for life, in college, in career, in the workforce, and continually changing and expanding on who they are as individuals moving forward. So what is the structure of this plan? It was developed with 3 goals in mind, and then, as we've done in the past, those 3 goals are then looked at very closely, and we identify smaller strategic objectives that are then approved by you, and we focus on those smaller objectives for 1 year, with the goal to then have all of that information then included in the school improvement plans, and so that the school improvement plans will then be directly connected to the work that's done in each of the individual schools. So you can see the direct connection from the overarching vision that we have in our strategic plan into the individual schools. All right, goal 1, focus on high quality instruction. And within each one of those goals, we have the smaller objectives, like I mentioned previously. And so specifically, we want to make sure that we're continually reviewing our resources and curricular materials for our students, making sure that those are high quality. Always looking at our expectations for students, holding them high for all. Providing time for teachers to intentionally plan based upon students' needs, also looking closely at their data to inform the decisions that we make about students and their instruction. And then finally, always looking at our professional development offerings so that they are directly connected to what our students need, and then supporting our teachers with that as well. In goal 2, we look specifically at personalized learning and providing opportunities for our students to access their educational goals and careers. We're looking a lot at how this translates into our dynamic world. And as we've said before, there are careers that haven't even been we don't even know some of the careers yet that our students will be engaging in 20 years from now. And so the skills that we want to provide for them through this personalized learning approach is directly connected to our Portrait of a Graduate, also looking closely at our digital portfolio so students have the ability to really think about their learning and apply that to other areas as well. We want to ensure that our students have a professional mindset within goal 2 so that they're always thinking about their professional network and increasing their ability to learn from people who are already in the industry. In goal 3, we were very much focused on family and community engagement and our partnerships with them. Really looking to create a culture of belonging so that everyone feels like they're part of our decision-making processes. We focused a lot this time on communication, making sure that there was a system for two-way dialogue. We also wanted to increase our systems for communication through newsletters, social media, and our website. We're also looking closely at student well-being and our partnerships with related service providers within our community, as well as community service providers, and looking more closely at the support system for our students outside of the school day, as well as the school day, with the resources that we have here in our community. And then also looking to ensure that we're expanding some of the learning opportunities like the Attleboro Technical Institute, maintaining that, and then also expanding it, and so that we also are including interest-based learning here in this beautiful building as well. So finally, we look forward to implementing this plan with all of you with our annual planning process, which requires us to take a look at the actual plan on a yearly basis, identify which goals we want to focus on, determine whether or not there'll be a financial impact related to them, and then start to plan for that. Communicate that information out to all of the stakeholders that are part of the plan, and then actually start to implement it. All right, so I don't know if you have any questions or if you've had a chance to look at the mock-up that we've provided for you this evening, but we did take great care in adding in, I think, photos that represent who we are as a district and representative of our students and our staff, and the many opportunities that we provide, preschool all the way up to grade 12 plus.
Thank you, Ms. Regan. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the 2030 strategic plan as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Before we go too far into discussion, just a couple of clarifying and reinforcing points. What has been provided to the committee and to those in attendance is a mock-up pending our review and approval tonight. So if there are any significant changes, the district can make those, the administration can make those. Pending our approval, this will be available both hard copy and on the website within the next 24 hours, depending on any changes that need to be made. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the committee? Mr. Larson.
I guess just a couple of brief ones. I'd like to thank everybody on the committee. I mean, these are hard things to do. I've seen a few of them and the amount of work that goes into them. So I really appreciate all the time and effort that went into this. There's a lot of really great points across all the learning levels. And, you know, you hit on one that just reminded me. I was on a tour a long time ago of one of the elementary schools, and the principal at the time made a comment to me that they're trying to prepare kindergarten and first graders, second graders for jobs that don't exist yet. And I have a hard enough time thinking how to be a teacher in the first place. But to try to figure out how to be a teacher for a job that doesn't exist, I mean, that just takes the whole conversation to a whole nother level that I don't think a lot of people really appreciate for what happens at all the different stages across the district. That what we're trying to prepare them for may or may not exist yet. And how exactly do you start to even think about doing that? So I think this is a great opportunity, and it looks like a great place to start, and I'm looking forward to watching it develop. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Any other questions or comments? Ms. Johnson?
Thank you, Mr. Geddes. I can remember way back when, I'm dating myself a bit, during the first iteration, Envisioning 2020. And what a huge undertaking it was back then to find, Dakota, former committee member, find our North Star and to make sure that we're all sailing in the right direction and putting the needs of our students first. And to reiterate what Mr. Larson said, getting them prepared for a world that we can't even imagine. So, and it's been a real thrill to see as we come out with each generation of this, how we're becoming more defined, yet still holding on to these core beliefs. And I know that we're heading in the right direction, and I'm so excited that the district continues to do.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Mr. Domenici?
Yeah, I just wanted to echo and thank all the members of the strategic planning committee that took the time. You work a long day and then spend several hours on many occasions trying to find the right tone, trying to, make the right points to put the next 5-year plan in place. It's not an easy task. I thought there was a lot of collaboration in the room. Everybody contributed a verse, so to speak, and that was really cool to see. It was great to be a part of it, and I just wanted to take a moment to thank everybody who not only is here, but for those that aren't, that took part in any way, big or small, to put this together.
Mr. Bennett?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to thank Ms. Regan particularly for it was being involved with this process was really educational and really enlightening for me, because I've done a little strategic planning in my day job, but nothing of the scale of a school system, and never this many kids, and just seeing the grace with which a collaborative editing project was handled, which I've tried to do things like that, and it never is pleasant, as when Lori had everybody sort of on the same page and didn't even really feel like we were being guided, and then, hey, look, we got there. So that was really informative and interesting for me. And I'm really pleased with the final product too, and I'm quite interested to see how the school improvement plans come out that take all of the sort of 30,000-foot directions that we've said here, and even some of them are fairly hands-on. There's a lot of hands-on stuff in here, so I'm really interested in seeing how that corresponds to directives that are given to principals and teachers, and see how, how people march based on this plan. I think it's a good plan, and I'm really proud to have been a part of it.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Any other questions or comments? Not to be too repetitive, but again, thank you to everyone that participated, both here in the room and that couldn't be here tonight. To everyone's point so far, this wasn't a quick process. Each of the actual language filtering discussions was about an hour and a half long, and add on to that 5 or 6 school feedback opportunities in October and November. So this was a huge undertaking, so congratulations to the administration for getting us here. And thank you to the administration for putting together a group that was very representative of different aspects of the community. I felt like it was a good mix of family members, educators. It was fantastic to see, as Mr. Bennett was saying, to see that collaboration. I also want to underscore the importance of this. A lot of districts, every district does strategic planning, but not every district does strategic planning well. And some don't do it to the fullest meaning of what it's supposed to be. And to Ms. Johnson's point, I think this is the 3rd time in a row that that the district has not just identified a better strategic plan, but a better way to develop the strategic plan. And this truly does create the guide of where this district should be. Without that Envisioning 2020 plan, we would not have a community and family engagement office. We would not have one-to-one technology. Maybe we would have one-to-one technology, but it would have happened more quickly. And so a lot of those goals, a lot of those objectives, a lot of those aspirations and hopes come from these documents. And so it's exciting to see a lot of those objectives get fulfilled over the course of that 5 years. So thank you for putting so much emphasis. To Mr. Bennett's point, having been in organizations that treat strategic planning as the leader writes something and everyone gets to look for typos, that's not strategic planning. What this group did was incredible. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So the community will be able to see this. Give the administration a day or two, but check the website soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is our superintendent's report, and for that I will turn it over to Mr. Sawyer.
Thank you, Chairman. I have a few brief updates this evening, all related to Attleboro High School. The first is the exciting news that, as I reported to the committee, we have a finalist in our screening process. And when I mentioned to the committee, it was to let you know that she was coming to visit last week. That visit went well enough that I'm here to tell you this evening that she has accepted the offer. So for the people at home that aren't up to speed on things, our finalist is Brooke Maycumber, who is the principal of Coventry High School. And she will be coming to us hopefully for July 1. We're still in the works of getting her signed on the contract, so it's still a work in progress, but she has accepted, so in principle, we do have a principal. And we're very excited. As I told from both the screening committee and the committee from the start, Attleboro High School is a big and complicated place and requires real deft leadership, like the leadership that we have grown accustomed to. And we were not going to simply hire the best available person. We were either going to go out and find someone who we believed could do the job, or we were going to put together an interim year and make a choice further down the line. We were very excited that in this moment we were able to find somebody who we think brings a lot to the table, and we look forward to introducing her at our next meeting on the 16th. So wanted to let the committee know that that process is concluded, and we're excited that it worked out for Attleboro High School.
I think we are too, but does anybody have any questions or comments?
All right, so Ms. Maycumber is very much aware that she has very large shoes to fill, and help me with that, Ms. Campbell, I'm going to ask to come up. First, I want to give you a quick update on graduation. We met earlier today with the facilities and tech team as we prepare for graduation on Friday. For anyone who's planning on coming, I'm sure you've already taken a look at the forecast, which unfortunately, after a good solid week of saying it was going to be a beautiful day, has demonstrated a little bit of a question as to what we can expect on Friday. So I just wanted to remind the committee that we're going to make a decision and set up one graduation. And a couple factors that need to be understood is that, as we discussed in our meeting earlier today, our technology that we need to make graduation work outside is not all-weather equipment that we're renting. So we can't have an outdoor graduation in which there is an expectation for real rain. So we will be looking at the forecast Thursday night into early Friday morning and making a call. And, we are hoping for good weather. And, if it's a low chance of a slight bit of rain, then, maybe we'll roll the dice. But if there's any real chance of rain, and certainly thunderstorms, which are right now part of the forecast, would complicate that. So we'll be supporting Ms. Campbell in the difficult decision she has to make. But we will be notifying families first thing Friday morning. Is there anything you want to add to that, Kate?
I just think it's reassuring to the school and to the students and to all of the families that we've had two really successful graduations since we opened the new building. And even though our first year we did have some heavy rains, what was really nice was how we were able to extend the screening into the Bray and the cafeteria area, and how Mr. Plord and his team put up screens. So although we absolutely are hoping and praying that it's going to be an outdoor, beautiful graduation the way we did last year, which was just picture perfect, that would be our number one choice. The Plan B is still a really nice opportunity for our students to celebrate their graduation and their special day, and for their families and their friends to all be a part of it. So I feel confident that we've had one of each now since opening the new building, and both are beautiful opportunities to celebrate our students.
And if I'm not mistaken, the one that was indoors, the weather had cleared up enough that there were some incredible opportunities for photos outside because of the sunset and the lighting. So
And we learned how much we wanted to do that the following year. So, we're learning and growing every day, but it was, both years were wonderful. So
Yeah.
I know that we'll be able to have another fabulous graduation at Attleboro High School.
Yeah, and an indoor ceremony in this building is nothing like, for anyone that experienced an indoor ceremony at the old building, worlds better.
Very different experience.
Yeah, much cooler. Any questions or comments? Thank you.
All right, and so Ms. Campbell's joining us for our final bit of business, which is an update from AHS on its NEASC accreditation process. They had a visit, important part of the important step in the process, and I know she's brought members of her team to give us an update on how that went.
Thank you, Superintendent Sawyer. I would like our co-chairs, which was Kelly Reed and Bob Westwater, to join me. This has been a team, not just of Kelly and Bob, but truly second to none, the leadership and the stakeholders of the entire staff through this accreditation process. They did reach out when we opened the building 3 years ago and said, hey, you guys are a little bit behind due to the pandemic and the new building, it's NEASC time. And we were like, whoa, this is a lot, we got a lot going on. And Kelly and Bob really, for the past 2 years, I think of the weekly meetings, the bi-weekly meetings, the monthly meetings, there was a lot of time that we invested in what we, set out to be a NEASC opportunity. And I think that through the whole process, what we realized were so many things that we've been able to accomplish, and that was some of the years leading up to the NEASC process, but also the time since we've been in the building. So what I'd like to do for the next few minutes is I'm going to share out some of the commendations that we received back from the visit. It was really, it was exciting and energizing when the team came, and not only were they amazed by the building itself and the facility, which had been some of the concerns in their last visit, but also about the culture and the community and what they were able to see. So, and then what Kelly and Bob are going to do, they're going to talk about some of the main area which we had already, when we thought about where we wanted to be in year 3, year 4 at Attleboro High School, aligned to what NEASC's projections were, but it also very much aligns to the strategic plan for the district and where our piece at the high school also really embeds itself and lends itself. So some of the things that I'd like to celebrate with the committee and with all of the Attleboro High School staff that worked on this was the overwhelming positive school culture, and what they were able to see with the supportive and, as they said, joyful relationships among the members of the school community, the establishment of a house model to create smaller learning communities that created even closer relationships. We've spent a lot of time these past 3 years building relationships for our staff, for our students, for our families, and it was noticed and celebrated. One of the other areas that we shined in were the multiple student clubs that addressed all different interests and areas of focus, and it supported a sense of belonging and enabled contributions to the school community. We have felt it's really important for every student to be seen, to be heard, and to be valued, and I think that was noticed in their visit. It was also great to hear that they saw our 30-minute X block that provides students with a variety of interventions and supports, including peer tutoring, MCAS review, academic support, school counseling, that they saw and they noticed that each student is known well by at least one adult here at Attleboro High School, and considering the size of our school, they were impressed with that. They really wanted to acknowledge the student-determined pathways and the organizational framework for developing interdisciplinary curriculum and the transferable skills. I think that's something that a comprehensive high school is naturally geared toward, but it's also very much something that I feel we do on the curriculum end as well across all departments and content areas. The purposeful integration of career and technical education into the full academic program was noticed. A few more that they said that the professional development, also the assessments, common assessments, that were accurately measuring student achievement and connected to the portrait of a graduate. One of the areas that also stood out was the cultural responsiveness, the social emotional learning, and the many relationships that were established with the community, businesses, and higher education institutes to support authentic learning experiences. What we're doing, not only in our 19 CTE programs, but with our college and career, but having that participation live together was seen and acknowledged. The last one that I think is really important is a robust array of structures, programs, services, including special ed, advisory, X-Block tutoring by National Honor Society, the ESL support, the academic interventions, all designed to meet the needs of our students in a least restrictive learning environment while focusing on the overarching goals of student achievement in the academic, social, emotional, behavioral, and transitional realms. That isn't an easy accolade to get, and I felt that that was something that we should really feel proud of as a school community. It also was, and I think this is a testament to all of you as well as our predecessors, is the modern state-of-the-art high school building and grounds, which fully supports the delivery of the curriculum, the programs, and the services. They thought that we had opened the building the current year. They were really, really impressed with the cleanliness of the facilities and that the pride the students and the staff take in their new school. And I think that that is a testament to our school and the students recognizing what the community was able to gift us with, and our job as the people who lived and walked these walls to keep the building in the same condition that we were gifted to. So overall, there were so many wonderful things that were said and celebrated, but we also know we've got work ahead of us, as you always do in the education realm. So Kelly and Bob are going to talk a little bit about the work that we have ahead.
Yeah, so thank you, Kate. So out of after the visit, we were pleased to present the results of the NEAS collaboration visit, and we have met 7 of the 8 foundational elements of the report. And the report reflects both validation of our progress and clear, obviously, direction of future growth, as Kate has just said. What Kelly and I are going to focus on now are the priority areas that NEAS has asked us to focus on. These priority areas are closely aligned with the work outlined in our strategic plan and reflect the same areas that we identified in our own self-reflection. The visit affirmed our direction and gave us an opportunity to focus our efforts with greater clarity and a shared purpose. So I'm going to first talk about the first priority area, which is probably a little bit more of where my specialty is the curriculum and consistency and integration. So the first real priority area is the development of written curriculum in a consistent format across all departments. So this includes aligning with DESE standards, embedding our portrait of a graduate, and building into interdisciplinary opportunities. The committee saw some really good things with our curriculum. Our core courses are in really good shape. As a school, we took the priority this year to start focusing on our electives, getting getting the format for all of our electives as well. We're in a good spot, but again, that's one thing that we looked in our self-study. This is what we need to work on, and they agreed. So that's really kind of validating what our self-study showed. So like I said, well, they have strong curriculum documents in place in some departments, so there's still progress in others, like I said. So they recognize as a foundational step toward ensuring a more consistent and high-quality learning experience for our students. This work is already underway, as I just said, with support from our instructional leadership team and the curriculum coordinators. So this really directly supports the strategic plan's focus on high-quality instruction by ensuring that all students experience rigorous, aligned, and relevant learning across all subjects. So that was the first priority area.
So I have the second priority area, which is grading practices. So the second priority area focuses on our transition from the traditional 100-point scale to the 0 to 4 scale that we are about to take on, which I think you guys are aware of. So NEAS supported this direction and emphasized the importance of ensuring, while we do this, collaboration, shared understanding of performance levels, and alignment of assessments to the new scale. I'm happy to report that that work is, currently going on right now with plans through professional development to be continued into the next year. But, we have a faculty meeting on Wednesday where this is the focus of the work. The staff, this is a big undertaking, but the staff is, I think, excited for it. A little bit nervous, and, I think rightfully it's a big thing. But ultimately, NEASC really supported the vision that we laid out for them and why we wanted to do that. We really feel like the shift to the new grade scale will help us have important conversations about learning and kind of put the emphasis where it needs to be. And I think that aligns in many ways with what we are going after in that strategic plan. So that is priority area number 2.
All right, so for priority area number 3 was collaborative use of evidence, as Ms. Regan spoke about earlier too. So the third priority area is strengthening how we collaboratively examine evidence of student learning and to improve our curriculum, instruction, and assessment. NEAS acknowledged the structures like common planning time, obviously, as our use of Linkit. But also we need a little bit more consistent, purposeful data use, which I know as the school we have really put a focus on this year with common assessments, end of trimester common assessments. This includes reviewing student work, aligning assessments, and using evidence to support the needs of all learners, especially through collaboration across teams. So this is something, again that they noticed that we had started in the process. We just need a little more time to implement it and put it into action, which again was something that we recommended, that we in our self-study had mentioned on our, and they agreed with us, and that's kind of where we're heading. So again, this reinforces the strategic plan's call for data-informed decision making and continuous improvement across the instructional teams.
And last is CTE focus. So it's the development of a common CTE rubric and competency tracking system. So when NEAS came, they were able to have a member, actually 2 members on the visiting team who came from vocational schools in the area, and were able to specifically look at our programming in CTE. And so they had a very specific recommendation for us in that area, which was to continue the work to develop a shared performance rubric and competency tracking system that's aligned with both the vocational frameworks, but also Portrait of a Graduate. So it's like the fusing of those kind of 2 areas. And they are, kind of wanted to emphasize how that would help ensuring consistency across the 19 different programs and strengthen how we track, recognize, and celebrate student growth in authentic real-world settings. That also is work that is underway, so just to kind of echo what Bob said, I think what was really nice for us as the kind of chairs of the steering committee to see is that we pretty much nailed the places that NEASC, thought we needed to tighten up a little bit, with areas for growth, right? That we knew these were things that we wanted to do. We prioritized them. The staff through the process kind of self-diagnosed where, the work was and where it needed to be. And the report is really just a validation of us kind of knowing ourselves, our students, and being kind of on the same page about where we would like to go. And I'm just, kind of personally excited by the fact that we now have a focus that, again, is really aligned with where the district wants to go, and I think it's just going to help us do better work and have better outcomes for kids. So overall, I think that if you read our self-report and then read the NEAS report, there's so much overlap there that, I think that just kind of speaks to the work that, the teachers at the school, the parents that came in, all of you who participated really did to speak to authentically what's happening in Attleboro, at Attleboro High School. So,
Thank you. Any questions or comments for the NEASC team? Mr. Larson?
Yeah. I had an opportunity to sit in on one of the small group interviews, so, well, I should step back. Congratulations. I read through this before, and, it's a great accomplishment. I know the conversation 2 years ago about them wanting to come back then, and everybody going, I don't think that's such a great idea. We should put
That
this
was
off a
nicely
little.
said. Very kindly said.
But the conversations in the small group were very interesting, and it was great to participate because a lot of the people interviewing us were either educators or past educators. So as a parent of a few graduates, it was great to participate in the conversation of Attleboro High School being a comprehensive high school, because for some of the people that were asking questions, this was kind of new to them. And, so, there were definitely people here looking into the CTE program, but the people that we were talking with, it was something they had heard of, but they were really interested to know, so how does this work? How do you guys get all this done? And so it was great to, be able to express some of that, the history that, as a parent, I've been through, and then some of the things that my kids have been through, but just, quite honestly, being able to take credit for a lot of the great work you guys do, and, so I have to admit that I did a little of that, so sorry. But no, when reading through this and knowing what's going on, it was not a surprise to me at all, so congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. Any other questions or comments? Thank you, and to reiterate, congratulations. It's in a way funny that we're dealing with the strategic plan and the NEASC accreditation, because both of those are exceptionally time-consuming, but also exceptionally critical in terms of a lot of reference to the self-assessment and self-diagnosing of where the high school as an organization feels it needs to improve. And so to hear from third-party observers that really have nothing to do with Attleboro, that their observations match, I think is very helpful. And I'm also impressed that this was dated April 25th, and before you even heard definitively what their feedback was going to be, you were already doing it. So that's exceptionally exciting as well. So congratulations, and thank you for all of your work on this.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your support. They will be coming back in December of '26, and there's no doubt in my mind that Attleboro High School and Kelly and Bob will, with the support, will be able to continue the great work that's going to be happening. They'll continue to shine.
Feel free to come back and visit for that if you'd like.
Oh, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Superintendent Sawyer. Next item on the agenda are minutes from our May 19th, 2025 meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, edits, or questions about the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Consent agenda, we have 4 items. I'll take all under one motion unless there's any concern from the committee. Seeing none, we have a motion to accept a donation in the amount of $29,215.94 from the Hyman Fine PTO to be used to purchase 10 Google panels and 10 stands. A motion to accept a contractual obligation in the amount of $59.50 from Planet Aid as broken down in the check receipt dated May 19th, 2025. Motion to accept a contractual obligation in the amount of $367.05 from Shutterfly LLC, as broken down in my memo dated June 2nd. And a motion to accept a donation in the amount of $3,000 from the Feinstein Foundation, as broken down in my memo dated June 2nd.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Just as a clarifying note, because I believe a copy of the invoice was provided for the Google stands and panels, and there is a dollar discrepancy between what is on the agenda and what was listed on the quote. The difference is $727. The Hyman Fine PTO actually made a similar donation last year, but had money left over in the amount of $727 that they were able to put towards the purchase that's listed here. So thank you to Hyman Fine to the PTO of Hyman Fine for twice in a row coming up with significant dollars for technology at the school. Any questions or comments? Ms. Porto?
Coming from Hyman Fine as a parent and PTO involvement, I just wanted to say thank you to all the PTO board members, the parents, the teachers who worked and helped make this donation successful. It takes a lot of time and effort and work, and Hyman Fine teachers and community should be very happy that I was able to do that.
Thank you, Ms. Porto. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is open forum. This is a time when members of the public may address the committee. Open forum is not a time for committee members to engage in dialogue with members of the public. Guidelines for open forum are available to you. Please know that we are interested in what you have to say, but cannot respond without background information on your issue. Open forum participants will be given 3 minutes to address the committee. Please come forward and to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Joey Ford, 44R Smith Street. Good evening. I'm shocked that Superintendent Sawyer didn't mention the current state investigation into systemic failures within Project Success and special education noncompliance at Thatcher Elementary. My name is Joey Ford, and I'm here tonight as someone who's learned the hard way what it means to put your trust in a system that promises justice, dignity, equity, and inclusion, yet delivers none. There's a grief that comes with disillusionment. It's not anger, it's not even despair. It's quieter, heavier. It settles into your bones when you realize the people and institutions meant to stand up for children, especially the most vulnerable, have chosen time and again to protect themselves instead. My son just turned 8 years old. He has Down syndrome, he has autism, and he has a fire in him, a curiosity, a love of life, a spark that deserves to be nurtured, protected, and heard. But instead of being heard, he's being managed. Instead of being supported, he's being sidelined. And when I asked for help, when I asked questions, when I dared to hold anyone accountable, the walls went up, the shields came out, not to defend children, to defend the system. I have watched grown adults with credentials, titles, and decades of experience twist language, evade facts, and hide behind policy, not to serve kids, but to preserve power. I've read responses so carefully calculated they bleed with indifference. And all the while, children like my son are left behind, overlooked, warehoused, in programs that do not meet their needs. What we do teach our children when the adults are in charge of education refuse to admit fault, to right wrongs, or to even listen, what do we teach our children? What does it do to a parent's soul when you walk into a school meeting hoping for compassion and walk out with a legal strategy drafted against you? And I know I'm not alone. Families whisper to each other in parking lots, in hallways, in fear. Because when you speak up, especially as the parents of a child with disabilities, you're not treated as a partner. You're treated as a problem. And this is not just about my son. This is about the kind of system we have become. If we cannot make room for honesty, for repair, for humility, if we cannot put the needs of our most vulnerable above the need to save face, then we have lost the heart of public education. But it doesn't have to stay this way. I'm here tonight because I believe, perhaps foolishly, but still stubbornly, that someone in this room still remembers why they got into this work. That someone here hears some of the grief in my voice and feels something stir in their conscience. That somebody, maybe more than one, will choose courage over comfort, service over self-preservation. I don't need an apology. I need action. I need accountability. And to my son, and every child like him, needs you to do the right thing. Not when it's safe, but when it's hard. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Ford. Is there anyone else that would like to address the committee as part of open forum? Please state your name and address for the record.
Meredith Bouchard, and I actually don't live in Attleboro. I'm just gonna read my son's letter. I know my husband was here when they dismissed school choice, which I completely understand. But with kids, you try to do everything for them, and my last effort to try to tell him to do the right things, we could lie and say we lived with somebody else, but and my son was willing to move in with somebody else to attend Attleboro High, so I'm just gonna read the letter. My name is Jackson Bouchard, and I'm an 8th grade student at Newark Middle School. I'm looking for the opportunity to attend Attleboro High this fall. Yes, I understand that Attleboro is not a school choice, but I think Attleboro High would be a good fit for me. The reason why I seek this opportunity is to further advance my education. I also am very interested in schools like yours that are like vocational schools to even further advance my education and help me in my future. I was accepted into Southeastern Regional Vocational Technical High School, which there was 1,800 applicants and only 420 picked, and he was one of them. I don't feel like the full-time vocational education is right for me. I'm also very intrigued with your facilities and the high school being newly built. In the past 3 years, I've helped out with Unified Sports, which is helping kids with disabilities and build teamwork, kindness, and inclusion. The past 2 years, I have been on part of the Playbook Initiative, which is to bring students from vastly different yet close geographical communities to work on topics related to race, ethnicity, gender, religion, culture, disability, and orientation. All this leads to help me to bring awareness to these topics to try to help stop racism, discrimination, and rather promote inclusion and leadership. This year, back in early spring, I did about 24 hours of community service around my community with local baseball clinics and baseball tryouts evaluations to help with jobs who were needed during those times. I'm also an AB student with my grades this year from ranging from a B to an A+. And I've had about the same grades with previous years. I take part in multiple sports, include baseball and bowling. As of recently, my league for bowling has ended. I'm in full swing for baseball since 2020. I have been playing club travel baseball, where I practice with the team, and throughout the winter and spring, where we also play games on the weekends throughout spring and summer. Now, for the past 2 years, I played for the middle school team, and I've been starting third baseman for baseball. Though I've been invited to numerous events, including the UA Prospect Next Tour presented by Baseball Factory, many Perfect Game events, and many other Baseball Factory events, including Rookie, Preseason, All-American Showcase, various I-95 Metro baseball events, and various Best in U.S. showcases, and just recently was invited to Wow Factor. Lastly, I'd like to stay active, whether it's walking and playing basketball with my friends, going outside, weightlifting, training, practicing for baseball. Ultimately, though, I would love this opportunity and would like to be able to say I graduated from Attleboro High. Sincerely, Jackson Bouchard.
Bouchard. Is there anyone else that would like to address the committee as part of open forum? Seeing none, I will close open forum. Some upcoming notable dates. This Wednesday, June 4th at 6:30 p.m., the Finance and Budget Subcommittee will meet here in the Zito Conference Room. A reminder, not that anyone really needs one, but Friday, June 6th is the Attleboro High School graduation, tentatively planned for Tozier Cassidy Field, and hopefully it will stay that way. The next regular committee meeting will be Monday, June 16th at 6:30 p.m. here in the Zito Conference Room. And just reminders a little bit beyond that, but a couple critical dates. June 20th not only is the last day of school, but that's also when transportation registrations are due for the 2025-2026 school year. And we have noticed that the municipal council's vote on the city budget will happen after our planned meeting for June 16th. So once we have a confirmation of when that vote is going to happen, I will call a special meeting for this committee to approve the final budget number, and that date is to be determined. Any other updates or new business from the committee? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.